Do you often wonder, what is it that you're really meant to do? Why can't you find something you love to do more than anything else that's actually valuable to others and profitable for you? Why is it that some people find it so easy to find their gifts at such an early age and go on to build successful, rewarding careers, while others keep searching year after year after year for even decades, but never truly being satisfied, never truly being able to find out what makes them feel special? Now in today's video, I'm going to share with you the real reasons why some people find it so hard to find their strengths, as well as 3 powerful strategies to start discovering yours right now. And while this process may seem very simple, perhaps even too simple to work, but I assure you, if you have the persistence and faith to stick with it for a week or 2, you'll start to see yourself and who you can be in an all-new light. Just to be clear, this is not a motivational video that's going to talk about finding your passion or chasing your dreams or believing in yourself and all that stuff, because you probably already knew all that. Instead, this is for you if you actually tried chasing your dreams, if you actually tried following your heart and passion in life, only to find that it's never so straightforward or simple, is it? What I'm going to share with you is an in-depth look at the psychology behind why you may be the one to block yourself from your own gifts and talents. So if you've been looking for answers for a very long time, be sure to pay close attention. So to talk about where our gifts come from and why some of us can't find it, we have to start from the very beginning of our life, our childhood. You see, since young, so many of us have been told by our parents, our teachers, our caregivers that we are a blank slate. We have unlimited potential to be anybody we want to be, as long as we're willing to put in the same hard work and dedication they did. But is that true? Because modern science tells us a very different story. You see, based on the latest research in neuroscience, we know that our patterns of thought, the very way we think and behave, is deeply influenced by the neural pathways that form in our brains. We also know that the clusters of neurons that form these pathways in our brains are not spread out evenly. Some parts of our brains are naturally much more densely packed with neurons, and other parts much less so. And it's in these most densely packed areas of our brains where the neurons are so close, they're constantly firing, constantly creating new neural pathways and connections, where we find that we can learn some activities so much faster than others, do things so much easier than others, where we get into the state of flow so effortlessly and enjoyably. We can't wait to do it again. We call this our zones of natural genius, our strengths. And get this, these patterns of natural genius are so special. They're completely different from person to person. No other human out of the 7.8 billion people on this planet have the same pattern as you. Each of us is truly one of a kind and unique beyond our imaginations. So what does this information mean for us? It means, contrary to what our parents and caregivers say, we do not have the same potential as others. We are not a blank slate. And contrary to what so many of us believe, our strengths are not just nurtured over time through education or experience or care from other people. Instead, the blueprint for where we are strong has been there since the very beginning of the day when we were born. How can we know this is true, you might ask? Listen, if you spend any time around children, you notice they instinctively gravitate towards certain activities that favor their strengths. It could be singing, it could be dancing, it could be drawing, writing, games, building stuff with their hands, right? Every child has one of those special activities they just love to do without anybody asking, simply because it feels so easy and enjoyable to do them. So far, so good, right? But here's the problem. What happens if a child is not allowed to explore these unique aspects of themselves? Perhaps their parents had a long day at work, and their child's love for performance and entertainment got punished as noisy and naughty behavior. Perhaps their parents were so practical, their child's love for art and self-expression got misunderstood as scribbles on a page, graffiti, or a waste of time. Or perhaps the parents were just so authoritative, the child's talents for spotting problems and wanting better solutions got labeled as rebellious and troublemaking behavior. How do you think this affects a child? They grow up thinking, something must be wrong with me for wanting to do what I do. They suppress their own instincts because they got punished just for being themselves. And so over time, they start to lose touch with what makes them special. They forgot their gifts, they forgot their talents, and they forgot their blueprints for greatness. And instead, they learn to embrace what their parents, their society, what others want for them. So knowing this, how can we reclaim our strengths and talents if we have lost touch with them since we are young? Simple. We find them by rekindling our childhood instincts. By asking ourselves, what do I really want? What do I really find enjoyable and what do I not? You see, most of us today don't do activities at work because we enjoy them. We tell ourselves, the money is more important. I really want that promotion. Or someone has to do it, right? And I'm the one. And we do it because we are good at what we do. Because we think our strengths are what we are good at and our weaknesses are what we are bad at. But what if that's not true? What if this belief is the very thing that's keeping us trapped from finding out who we really are and what we really want? Because for something to be a strength, it's not enough for us to just be good at. It has to be something that brings us joy and fulfillment whenever we are doing it. How do you know something is a strength? You know when doing it, you feel so energized, you feel so recharged wherever you're doing it. You feel inspired and passionate to keep improving. And time passes by so quickly, you don't even notice. And when it's done, you can't wait to do it again. A child will know this instinctively. Yet for most of us, we've mistaken what we are good at doing over what we really enjoy being good at deep inside. And then we wonder why we can't find our strengths and talents. We push ourselves using willpower and determination till, like a horse that's being whipped constantly, right? We start to run slower and slower and slower. And then we ask ourselves, where has my fire gone? Why don't I feel like improving anymore? And we look enviously at others, so confident and thriving in their strengths, forging new heights in their career, while we wonder, why them and not me? This is how a life of not knowing and not following our strengths traps us into a cycle where we underperform again and again and again, and we don't know why. When no matter how much you try to motivate yourself daily and push yourself to improve, it never satisfies, and life feels like a constant struggle. So knowing this, what can we do right now to start our journey of self-discovery, to reclaim what makes us special? Now, in the early days before the research into strength psychology, the only way to understand our strengths as adults used to be after years of trying out different activities, different careers, long periods of self-reflection, and finally connecting the dots between everything that we have done to find the common patterns behind our various experiences. Fortunately, today, with advances in neuroscience and the latest strengths research, there are some shortcuts. So here are 3 powerful, actionable strategies you can use immediately to start finding your unique strengths. So please pay close attention. I call this the PRO method. Right? So strategy number 1, understand your strengths pattern. What is a strengths pattern? It's simply a pattern of behavior that motivates and strengthens you whenever you follow it. For example, what motivates me is to research new knowledge that helps me to grow, and then create original new insights that help others to learn and grow. Right? Where does it help you now if you know your pattern of strengths? Because then you will be able to easily recognize which activities out of every single thing that you're doing right now is most aligned with this pattern. Right? Which activities, when you are doing them, you feel the strongest and most motivated to improve daily, day after day after day, without anybody asking you to do so. For instance, if you love to teach like I do, you don't need to be a teacher before you start teaching. Instead, you'll find opportunities to educate everywhere, from your friends, your family, to your colleagues, to your customers. You get the idea. It's something you enjoy doing the more you do it. So compared to every single thing that you're doing, it's just orders of magnitude easier to improve rapidly in this. Right? So how can you find your strength pattern? The fastest way is to do a strengths assessment, which is a psychology assessment developed by PhD researchers to help you find these recurring patterns through your answers to their questions. The strengths assessment I recommend is called Stand Out by Marcus Buckingham. You can find the link in the description below. Why Stand Out? Because it was created for a very special purpose, to tell you the best of what others see in you. Instead of, there are 9 different strength roles, each with their own distinct strength patterns. After you take the assessment, there is a 14-page report that shows your top 2 strength roles, along with the patterns of behavior of each strength role that strengthen and motivate you. And chances are, if you're having trouble right now figuring out your strengths, right, they may not be related to any activity that you're doing regularly right now. That's why you find it so hard to find your strength, right? So this is why, based on the insights you learn about your top 2 strength roles, you'll now be able to try out new activities that may be more suitable to your strengths that you have never experienced before. And who knows, even if you've never tried it before in your life, what if what you're really born to do is just on the other side of your fear and discomfort? Strategy number 2, reflect on your daily routines. As you now know, one of the best ways to find your strengths is to see which activities you are naturally motivated to do without anyone incentivizing you to do so, right? So, which activities in your life are you currently doing over and over again simply because you like it? Which ones? Try focusing on activities where you are creating value for others and not activities that consume what others create. Like for instance, many of us love watching Netflix or YouTube in our free time, right? But when we are watching, we are just consuming content by others. We are not creating any value for others out of this activity. On the other hand, if you love to write articles, or if you love to draw art or do videos, these are all activities that can point to your underlying strengths and the why behind why you love to do them. The problem is, most of us are so close to our strengths, we often don't pay much attention to activities that motivate us in our daily lives, right? So, in order to know what are these activities, throughout your day for the next 2 weeks, try keeping a strength journal of all the activities you do, both at work and at play, and write down how they make you feel. Whenever you finish any activity that makes you feel like time literally just flew by and you're emotionally recharged and you can't wait to do it again, write a line about your strengths. Begin with, I feel strong when I what? I feel strong when I help others solve their problems by analyzing and coming up with the best solution. That could be one. I feel strong when I get to know new people, find out what they're really good at doing, and figure out which people can create sparks and chemistry together. I feel strong when I can create an innovative new idea that nobody else has ever thought of and start making it come to life. Right? These are all examples of strength statements that you can write when you come across it in your daily life. And don't worry if what makes you feel strong isn't something you expect or something you think is practical. Just put your judgment aside and really start accepting who you really are and what you really want. And similarly, when you finish any activity that drains all the energy out of you like nothing else, and you absolutely dread the next time you have to do it again, write a line in your journal that describes your weakness. I feel weak when I what? For instance, I feel weak when I have to entertain guests with small talk. I feel weak when I have to do my taxes or my reports. Or it could even be, I feel weak when I have to explain a new idea to others instead of just doing it myself. Right? So Where we are strong and where we are weak is so deeply personal to each person that if you do this for 2 weeks, you start to see a pattern emerge. Some activities, though you do them daily, are actually draining and depleting you like nothing else. Others, even though you love doing them so much, are so rare that you almost never get a chance to do them again. So if you want to live a life where you become more and more talented and more successful over time, how can you do it? Simple. By cutting down on the activities that drain you every day and doubling down on the ones that energize you every single day. Because when you stop fighting yourself, when you stop feeling like you're losing energy all the time, when you actually start looking forward to improving what you do every day, that's when the magic happens. It's really just that simple. Strategy number 3, observe the reactions of others. Do you know why over 80% of people don't know their biggest strengths? Because our strengths feel so natural and easy for us, we assume everyone else would easily be able to do what we do. It may be hard for us to tell when we are following our strengths. However, others around us will notice the difference in us almost immediately whenever they see us following them. Why? Because when we do an activity that resonates with our strengths, right, they're able to see our eyes light up, our faces glow with confidence, and our energy become abundant and seemingly limitless. Right? It's so obvious. Sometimes we may even feel like a completely different person to them than how we usually appear. And guess what? They enjoy being with this new you because it's authentic. That's who you really are. So whenever you're doing something that you think is normal, but people go, wow, I really love that, and there's a disproportionately good response, pay close attention to what you're doing and ask yourself, is this something I love to see myself grow in and improve in again and again all the time? Because if it is, then congratulations, you just found a unique strength that makes you you. And don't worry even if you're not good at it now, because if people loved what you did right now, imagine how much better it will be as you become more skillful and more experienced at what you do. Okay, so now you've learned the 3 strategies, the pro method to discover your strengths. It's time to try it out. Remember, learning something and doing nothing is the same as not learning it in the first place, right? And transformation only comes after we have the courage to take the first step. So drop a note in the comments and let me know how it worked out for you. I'd love to hear about your unique experiences. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more videos weekly on understanding your personal strengths and unique talents. Thanks for watching. This is Sia signing off, and I will see you in the next video.